God gives us these kids for a season, and then they're His. I mean, there's a few flashbacks I have in my memory of, like, I don't remember where we were. I just remember we were all at a couple of tables, and our family couldn't fit it all at one table. So he sat at one table behind us, and he just gravitated to this young man that had his head down and wasn't engaging with anybody. I remember just kind of taking note, like, this is interesting. This is the side of Micah that I didn't really know existed, and to like be drawn to the people who don't have anybody. Micah's the brother that everybody goes to ask for something, and he'll walk by and he'll see something's not going right, and he'll say, well, why don't you leave him alone, or why don't you be kind, or he's the compassionate heart. I remember Micah being like 4 or 5, and he had a very strong desire to fly airplanes. He used to color, I have this little magnet where he drew this little yellow plane, 2-seater, and he wrote thing or two on the outside of it because that was his name for, I was going to show you a thing or two. So, anyway, he's always loved planes, but he's also been drawn to missions. And we used to tell the boys, God's told us to go into all the world, so if you stay here, you better be called, because we're told to go.
First time I wanted to fly, since I was a toddler probably, we went to see my uncle about 4 years ago now, and he took us up for a flight, and after about a half an hour of just, it wasn't really training, but it was kind of getting used to the plane and stuff. When we came back, he gave me a logbook and had my first entry in there, and that was kind of the first step towards the direction of getting my pilot certificate. It was after that initial flight, and then I started looking at scholarships and things because we didn't have the money to fly. And I won a scholarship, and the scholarship was you could only use the money that year. So as soon as the year ran up, it was done. They'd pull the money. So I just learned to fly as much as I could on the money that we had through the scholarship. And so that kind of started me, and then you can't stop or you kind of lose the training and you go backwards. So just kept going one step at a time. Since before then, I've wanted to be a missionary pilot. I'd probably fly for JARS or like the MAF, that just doing flying missionaries and supplies, whatever they need. Probably South America. They just need the gospel there. It's the real reason. If they needed me somewhere else, I would be just as happy to go. I've always had a kind of a missionary mindset. So aviation, I think, goes great with sharing the gospel. That's something that I've wanted to do for a while, and of course my parents are 100% behind it. And some people say, well, it's dangerous, but in reality, life is dangerous. So live on the edge. I really thank my parents for supporting me and helping me through, praying for me.
He's a good guy. We like him.
Right now I'm working on at PCC, getting my aviation technology, so it'll get me my certificates to work on planes, both the airframe and power plant. That will be my focus for the next couple of years, yeah. And then after that, I'll need to get just a couple other, like tail wheel endorsements, so you can fly airplanes that have a tail wheel. But maybe the Lord has different plans for me. I've caught my mom on a couple occasions saying, "You better be called to stay, otherwise go."